Hi everyone, this is Alex from My Creative Room, and I am here on the Love Notion channel as a Love Notion ambassador to chat with you today about the Pemberley Tunic and Dress. The Pemberley is actually today's Feature Friday pattern, which means it's only $5, so it's definitely the right time to go ahead and grab your pattern. I can wait. If you want to pause the video, go grab the pattern, add it to the cart and come back to the video, or you can get it right after. Just make sure you don't skip today because it's only for today that is going to be just $5. And it's a pattern that will add so much value to your pattern gallery. Like I said, it is a tunic and dress, so there's already two options included in the pattern. It has a beautiful silhouette with an empire waist, which makes it very flattering for a lot of body types. It accentuates the narrowest part of your body, which is right under the bust, making your legs look longer and making it super comfortable to wear. Nothing is touching excessively, but it's also not a super loose fitting pattern. I absolutely adore this silhouette, hence why I've made it quite a few times. Let's chat about the sizes included in the pattern. The Pemberley comes in sizes extra small to XXXL, so it's a wide variety, it's very size inclusive. The waist, the smallest size is 26.5 inches, and at the largest it covers a 41.5 inch waist. The bust measurements go from 33 inches all the way to 54 inches, and I do suggest and encourage you to choose the size of your Pemberley first based on your bust measurements, and then look at the if you need to blend sizes based on hip and waist, but choose the size of your Pemberley based on your bust measurements. For hips, it covers a range of 35.5 inches all the way to 51.5 inches for hip. It is definitely has positive ease in the hip and the waist. This is where my natural waist is, and the elastic goes under the bust. It is an empire waist, and I love that. I love empire waist personally on my body type because it definitely makes my legs longer and it doesn't really cling to my midsection, which is definitely something that I like to avoid if possible, especially in the summertime when I'm super hot. Right now it's 100 degrees where I am, so the less clinginess on my waist, the better it is for me, at least. Another great thing about the Pemberley pattern is that it includes not only your standard and average bust pieces, but Tammy also included full bust pieces. So it takes away the guessing game, it takes away the full bust adjustment pieces that you will have to make yourself with a regular pattern. So if you do need that, so super easy. The pattern includes both average and full bust pieces, so you'll choose whatever works best for you. It includes two lengths. It includes tunic length and dress length, which is what I'm wearing right now, and this is also a dress, so you can kind of have an idea of the length difference between tunic and dress. So the tunic hits under your backside, as you can see here. I wanted to show you that the tunic is the perfect length if you are a leggings wearer, or you want a shirt that is a little longer and covering a little more than your average t-shirt. So there's a tunic length, like I said, and a dress length. The dress hits right around the knee, so but the pattern does have straight edges on the sides and a straight edge at the top, which makes it super hackable. super easy to hack it into either a mini skirt, or if you want a below the knee dress, or if you want a maxi dress. I actually have to put this on my list. I need to make mental note for Alex. I need to make a Pemberley maxi because I love maxis in the summertime. And this is a super easy pattern to hack since it has a straight top and straight sides. All you have to do is basically add extra length at the top to make it a maxi dress. So while the pattern includes tunic and knee length skirt, you can definitely increase that variety of length to whatever you prefer or whatever you're comfortable wearing, from a maxi to a mini skirt and so on. Let's chat about the fabric that are great for the Pemberley tunic and dress. It is designed to be made out of lightweight drapey knits. So that's my jam. That's what I love to sew. That's what I love to wear. I am not a fan of heavy knits most likely because of the temperature of where I live. It's hot most of the time, so I can't really do like ponte or scuba every so often. So I love a drapey lightweight knit like a bamboo. What I'm wearing right now, and these examples as well, are bamboo spandex, which is number one fabric base in my book. 99.5% of my wardrobe is bamboo spandex, and that includes these Pemberleys as well, including the one that I'm wearing right now. So bamboo spandex, number one choice, followed by double brush poly would work great for this. A rayon spandex would work great for the Pemberley. Some poly blends would work great too if you're comfortable wearing poly blends. As long as there's a great drape in the fabric and it's not heavy, you can definitely go ahead and use it for the Pemberley. It will feel amazing on your body. For the neckband, definitely use something with a high stretch and excellent recovery, such as a cotton spandex. You can use cotton spandex for the main dress as well. Just make sure that if you do, you use a lightweight cotton spandex, not a super heavy custom printed cotton lycra, because you want it to flow nicely when worn. You don't want it to tent out or make you look square-ish, you know, when you wear it. So avoid heavier weight fabrics. Stick to lightweight drapey ones. To check for the drape of the fabric, it's very easy. If you're at the crafts or if you're at Joann's or wherever you're shopping for fabric, pull some from the bolt, a little bit of fabric, and just hold it like this and see how many folds you have. If your fabric drapes like so and creates lots and lots of folds, that means it has excellent drape. So it's definitely a thumbs up for your Pemberley. If your fabric, when you hold it, makes one or two folds and it stays more like a tent, then definitely it's a thumbs down for the Pemberley. It will not look flattering. So work with lightweight knits. The Pemberley dress and tunic features an amazing shirt tail hem. I love that about it. It's a curved hem on both the tunic and the dress. You can see a shirt tail hem is shorter on the sides and curved on the bottom, which makes it super flattering when worn. It makes your legs look so long. I love that about it. And the pattern teaches you how to do the hem flat. So you will be first hemming, if you look here as a close-up, you will be first hemming the skirt front and then the skirt back, and then stitching them together, which makes it super easy if you don't like doing a knit hem in the round. So a very easy sew, if you ask me. One of the things that attracted me first to the Pemberley pattern when I first got it was, one, the silhouette, because I love an empire waist on me, and two, and it's what we're going to chat about in the next few minutes, is the sleeve options. I am a sucker for a variety of sleeves. The more sleeves you include in a pattern for me, the better, because I think it makes the pattern look so different depending on which sleeve you use. So the Pemberley includes short sleeve, 3/4 sleeve, and long sleeve, crystal clear, but it also includes bishop sleeve, which is this style. A bishop sleeve has an elastic casing at the wrist, and it's super drapey, and it cinches at the wrist. So this is a bishop sleeve, but it also includes this beautiful cuff sleeve. I absolutely love it, with a button and a tab that makes it extra special, not just your regular short sleeve. This one had the cuff, but I cut it because I wanted shorter sleeve. But look how pretty this is. It gives you a chance to add an accent fabric or mix and match fabrics, like I did here with the skirt and the cuffs, the same fabric, and then the body is a different fabric, coordinating fabric. And just look how pretty it is. I love a cuff sleeve, and it's so easy to do. The pattern includes the cuff with the tab for both the short sleeve and the 3/4 length. With all the sleeve styles included in the Pemberley Tunic and Dress pattern, you are bound to find the right sleeve for you, and one that you're going to want to make over and over and over again. One thing that you will learn with the Pemberley Tunic and Dress pattern is how to do a buttonhole. Let's say you are new to doing buttons or buttonholes, especially on knit fabric. This pattern will definitely ease you into the fascinating world of buttons. This is not a button-down shirt. It is not one that has 50,000 buttons on the front and 3 on each sleeve. This one has one button on the sleeve, on the tab, that if you want to skip it, you can, but it is a great opportunity for beginner sewists to learn how to do one button. That's it. You don't have to commit to more. You're committing to one. And if you don't want to even make it functional, you don't even have to. The way I do my buttons on the short sleeve, because I really don't want it functional, I don't need it functional, I simply sew my button right into the tab and the sleeve without actually doing the buttonhole, since I don't really need it. But if you do prefer it to be functional, then you will do one buttonhole on the tab, and you'll do that, you'll see in the pattern, you'll do that before you even sew the tab on, and then you'll sew one button on this. So 2 buttons, 2 sleeves, 2 buttons. I promise you, you can commit to 2 buttons in one project, and you'll see that it is not difficult. And then you'll say, you can put it on your sewing resume that you have sewn buttons, so you're comfortable with it. So then you know for the next project, you'll do fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it answered a few of your questions. If you have any additional questions, definitely leave them in the comments below of this video, or make sure that you join the Facebook group for Love Notions and ask your questions there. We're a helpful bunch in there. So I don't want to end this video without giving you some of my favorite tips for casing elastic. I love an elastic waist dress. So I've been casing elastics for the longest time, and I have found some tools were better than others, and I have a few tips if you're new to this method, or if you want just to hear some of my favorite tips. I have a friend who actually has been sewing for a long time, and she has never heard of a bodkin before. And once I introduced her to it, she was super happy. Where was this all my life? I would never think that she didn't know what it was. So who knows, maybe you'll learn something new from me today. So stick around. In the next 5 minutes or so, I will be showing you some tips and tricks for casing the elastic on your Pemberley. So you have sewn your beautiful Pemberleys, and now all you have left to do is thread your elastic at the waist. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes in today's video to show you my top 3 favorite ways to thread elastic. A little side note, before getting into garment sewing, I used to make, that's like 10 years ago, shopping cart covers. So I used to thread elastic daily, tens and tens of times, and my fingers were hurting. It was like my least favorite part of sewing was threading elastic because of the pain it was bringing to my fingers. So I was on a mission to find the easiest way to thread elastic, so I wanted to share with you because you may not be familiar with some of the tools available. So these are my 3 preferred methods, and I'm going to go from my least favorite to my top favorite and case my Pemberley. So one thing you can purchase is these Dritz. They're called elastic threaders, so very easy to find. They come in various sizes, including 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, and 3/4 of an inch. So you can find those everywhere online and in stores, in your crafts and sewing supply stores. They're very inexpensive, I would say around $5. These are definitely something that will make your life easier when you thread elastic. So the way to use this is, I have here 1/4 of an inch elastic. I'm going to thread this elastic in the 1/4 of an inch tool. As you can see here, this little tool has 2 slits, so that and a little serrated edge. So what we're going to do, I'll use my tweezers. I'm going to pull on one of the openings. I'm going to pull the elastic, and now you can see why this is probably my least favorite out of all 3, because it takes a few extra steps, but it definitely does the job. So I'm threading this. Again, use tweezers to make your life easier. And it looks like this. Okay, so now, and now I do pull a little bit, I leave a little bit of a tail. So now you want to take your other end, and this is a step I won't let you forget to do with, regardless of which method. And you take a safety pin on your other end. Don't close it just yet. I'm going to take my Pemberley. As you can see, I have the casing formed already. So I'm going to check. I think I left it on one side. Okay, so I have my opening here. And I'm going to take the part that has the clip. And since my opening is close to the side seam, I'm just going to pin this in the side seam seam allowance. So I don't want it to go through my fabric, through the main of the fabric, because it's safety pin. It's not necessarily ballpoint. I don't want it to poke any holes in my fabric. So I'm just pinning the safety pin on the seam allowance. So now, holding this with my 2 fingers, I'm going to go ahead and start casing it all the way around. And because it has a long plastic stick, it will make threading super easy. One very important tip that I have for you when you use this plastic elastic threader, if your elastic is not super tight in those ridges that we've cased it through before, when you push the elastic in your casing like so, make sure that you feel with your index and your thumb, and you hold the elastic tight in that casing. You don't want to have the elastic like come out of your casings when you're threading it, because then you will have to just pull the elastic, pull the plastic threader out, and restart the process. It's not a big deal, but the whole point is to make our life easier. So as you can see, I am threading it, and it gets tighter and tighter because the waist circumference is definitely of the dress, it's definitely larger than the elastic all the time. So that's the reason why I've added this little stopper here. As you can see, there's no more elastic on the other side, which means now it's going to start to pull on that. And if I did not secure that on the other end on that side, right now it would just go all in the casing and I would have to start over. So that's why it's very important to not forget to secure one end of your elastic when you're casing it, especially if your fingers or your joints are starting to hurt from threading. The last thing you want to do is start that process over again. Okay, so we made it to the other side, and now I can go ahead and pull this out. Again, be careful not to lose your elastic from this part. And now you're going to go ahead and continue your threading. But see, now I can pull as much as I want, and I know I won't lose this side because I secured it with a safety pin. Okay, so that is one way to thread your elastic. Now my second way, and I am pulling it out to show you. My second method will be the easiest one, and the one that you can do with no tools, would be to use two safety pins. The reason I say two is because one we put, like I showed you, in the seam allowance on where the opening is, to secure it from not being lost in the casing as we thread the elastic. And the second one you're going to pin to your end here, like so. And I do recommend going through the elastic twice, not just one time, just for extra security. See how I thread my safety pin in the elastic? I go twice and then I close this. If you go just one time, you may tear the elastic as you pull. This gives it a lot more security. And you do notice that I use big safety pins. I've tried using the little ones and I saw no benefit other than it's way easier to lose it in the casing. So don't be afraid to use big safety pins. These are kind of mediums and these are big. The casing is at least 1/4 of an inch, and I do believe this casing is actually finished at 1/2 an inch. So plenty of space to use a big safety pin. This will definitely make your life easier and make threading the elastic in the casing a lot faster. So again, second tip, big safety pin, and do thread your elastic in the pin twice. And you're going to obviously do the same thing. My favorite method, and totally worth it, is using a bodkin. So this is how I thread my elastic all the time. These are metal bodkins. This is a Dritz one, but Clover has one that's fancier, and it's the green design. Regardless of which one you're using, the technique is pretty much the same. So the way you use a bodkin, it has this little ring that slides up and down like so. So you want to open it up by sliding the ring up, and then what I like to do is I grab onto the elastic, but I don't grab onto the elastic like right here at the top. I give myself at least an inch like so, and I'm going to squeeze it, and using my other hand I'm going to slide the ring down like so. So now it's secure. This is how I put my bodkin in my elastic. So with one end I'm going to again use my safety pin, a little one. This one can be little, it doesn't matter because it doesn't go in the casing. Excuse me. I'm going to secure this to the seam allowance. So again, I'm securing it in a seam allowance, not in the actual fabric. And using the bodkin, I'm going to go ahead and thread this. And because it's metal, because it's thin, because it's somewhat pointy, but it does have a round tip, but smaller, as you can see, threading with a bodkin is definitely the fastest way. It glides a little better than, at least in this bamboo spandex, it glides better than the plastic, the Dritz plastic threader. And versus the safety pin, it also has like the shape that makes it slide easier. So you can see how fast I'm going. I know it's very secure here, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm not pulling super hard. And I'm already at the end. And you've seen it real time how much faster it is to thread with the bodkin. So now I got to the other side, and there you go. See, I didn't even have it slid so well and so fast that I didn't even use that extra. So now I'm going to unpin this, but I'm not taking it off quite yet. I don't trust myself to remove my threaders quite yet. Again, this is all from experience when I'm telling you that I've removed it and then lost the elastic in the casing and had to start over. So until you're ready to stitch, and even while you're stitching, I keep my threaders on my on the ends. So now a very important step is to go ahead and use your touch feel and make sure that the elastic has not twisted in the casing. Feel your elastic that it's flat all the way around and not twisted. And if it is, just twist it back gently all the way around. So now I know that once I sew this one on top of the other, the elastic is not going to be twisted in the casing. So now if you're comfortable, you can take off the safety pin and the bodkin, and you can go ahead and stitch down your elastic. I also recommend, before you stitch that down, to just use the safety pin to pin it in place. Maybe grab it in the seam allowance, try on your Pemberley, see if you like the length of the elastic, and or if you want to shorten it, or you need a longer piece than what you've cut, and then stitch it. That's just a recommendation to make sure you have the most perfect fit for your body. Once you stitch that, go ahead and close your opening, and you are done. You can just enjoy your new Pemberley. I hope you found this pattern review helpful and that it inspired you to sew yourself a new Pemberley tunic or dress. I did go ahead and change so you can see the tunic option and these beautiful cuffs, which I absolutely adore. And wanted to show them off. Honestly, I wanted to show off these beautiful cups and encourage you to treat yourself to a new tunic or dress this weekend or in the upcoming week. And if you do, definitely make sure to post it in the Facebook group for Love Notion and all over social media so we can all be an inspiration for each other. If you need any help with styling your Pemberley tunics, I do have a blog post on the Love Notion website that shows you various ways that you can take your Pemberley tunics and dresses for a night out, a day at the office, a day at the parks, just simply hanging around the house. I have included a few styling tips and patterns that complement the Pemberley tunic and dress, so definitely check out that blog. I will link it in the description of the video today. Thank you so much again for watching me, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye!